Martin Thurman.
Hi, I'm a firefighter. My 3 sons are firefighters, and now my wife is a firefighter. I'd like you to meet her.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Linda Thurman.
Number 2.
My name is Linda Thurman.
Number 3.
My name is Linda Thurman.
Only one of these people is the real Linda Thurman, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now let's meet our panel. Co-star of Murder, She Wrote, Ron Masak. Talk show hostess Mother Love. Actor and raconteur Orson Bean. And to tell the truth's very own Kitty Carlisle. Here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Burton. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, and welcome to our show. And good morning, panel.
Good morning, Alex.
Let's get to our first story, the one represented by these 3 women, all of whom claim to be Linda Thurman. Please follow along as I read the affidavit. I, Linda Thurman, am a firefighter. I battle blazes alongside my 3 sons and my husband. I drive the fire truck and am sometimes the first to go into a burning building with 2 of my sons right behind me and another son working the hydrant out on the street. 2 years ago, none of this would have been possible. I weighed almost 300 pounds. I could not have safely slid down a fire pole or climbed up a rescue ladder, and there's no way I would have made it through the training program. But I was tired of being overweight, and I began a strict regimen of diet and exercise. Within a year, I lost 124 pounds. That's when I decided to join my family on the fire squad. Signed, Linda Thurman. We'll find out more about this firefighting family right after these words. Story with which to begin the week. These 3 women all claim to be Linda Thurman, who lost 124 pounds in order to become a firefighter. Kitty, we'll start with you.
Well, whoever you are, congratulations on both counts, losing the weight and being a firefighter. Number 3, do you work for the city or do you work for a private company or what?
We're a volunteer fire
You're
department,
volunteers.
yes, strictly
And
volunteer.
number 2, you don't live in the firehouse then?
No, we don't.
Number 1, how do you know when the fire is coming?
An alarm sounds on a pole.
And then you run to the firehouse?
Yes.
And number 2, could you carry me down a ladder?
I'd certainly try.
It seems so strange
That's not
for me
good
to
enough.
say, after Kitty has completed her questioning, Orson, we go to you. This is the first time in all the years you 2 have done the show that you have been sitting next to each other. Am I right?
Thorn between 2 roses.
You smooth-talking devil. All right, you're wasting time.
Really? Number 3 now. Even though you don't live there, do you sometimes go up just to slide down that pole?
We do have a pole in our station because it's an old station,
I
and
believe
that was
you.
one of the
Is
exciting...
it fun to slide down?
Yes. I
Number 1,
enjoy
is it more or less dangerous for a woman or a man to slide down that pole?
Well, I would probably say a man. However, we don't have poles anymore.
All right. Number 2, where does this take place? What is your town?
Hayden Lake, Idaho.
Number 3.
Let's go to Mother Love.
Number 1, did your family talk you into becoming a firefighter, or was this your idea?
It was strictly my idea.
Number 2, would you have dieted for another job?
Yes.
Number 3, did you decide to go on the diet first and then become a firefighter, or become a firefighter and lose the weight to fit into the job?
I had to lose the weight. I was afraid for my life.
And that's important, you know. Personally, I'm in great health. I just look good like this. Number 1, would you think about, can you advance in this job, or are you just going to be a firefighter? Can you be like the fire chief?
If it became an opening, I'd certainly try it. I feel I could.
Number 2,
Ron, let's go to you to wrap up the questioning.
Number 2, it said you were the first, sometimes you're the first one in there. What's the first thing a firefighter does when they go into a burning building?
Well, we wait for commands from the incident commander.
And number 3, what's the purpose of breaking windows in a fire?
To ventilate, because there might be explosives in the building, and you want to get the smoke and the air out to give ventilation.
Ventilation. And number 1, your husband has been a firefighter how long?
He had been a firefighter for 13 years, and he had some heart trouble, so he stopped, and now he's back on again in a volunteer capacity.
Number one, was there a when you said you had to slide down the pole, the tests, who gave you that test?
We didn't have to slide down a pole.
You didn't have to slide down that pole.
Oh, Ron was asking questions that seem to indicate that you've had some experience at fighting fires.
Or starting them, Alex, as
Or
the case may
starting,
be.
as the case may be, right. Well, time's up for our panelists. It's time for them to cast their ballots now for the woman they feel is the real firefighter, the person who lost 124 pounds. Who do you think it is, folks? Is it number 1? Is it number 2? Or is it number 3? Remember that our challengers are working as a team, and they will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a minimum guarantee of $1,000. And if our panel is fooled completely, then the team will receive $3,000. Kitty, for whom did you vote?
I haven't a clue. I think they're all capable of carrying me down a pole or a ladder. And my money, I think, is on number 1 because she told about her husband and his physical problems, and now he's back, and so I voted.
So that little personal anecdote helped
that's
convince
right.
you.
Yeah.
Orson?
Number 2 is cute as a button. I can see her sliding down the pole, a half smile on her face, charging off.
With you
the
in
time.
one arm.
With me in one arm, Kitty in the other.
All right.
You like this pole sliding, don't you?
Yeah.
It's just doing something for him. You know?
That's all. He thinks that the world of firefighting consists of a pole.
Pole slide.
That's all. They don't do anything else.
Burning to the ground pole.
Who did you vote for?
Well, I voted for number 3 for the same reason Kitty voted for number 1, the personal antidote. She said she lost the weight because she feared for her life. And that's
Important.
when I would do it.
Yes, indeed. Ron?
I know a lot about this, Alex, because I'm married to a pole. Just on no reflection on the other two, but just on the fact that it's a diet and exercise and training and carrying people. I went with number 2 because she looked, when she stood up there, like she was regimented. Stood there.
Ready to do it. She's ready for action, in
Yes.
other words. All right, well, let's review the voting quickly. We have 1 vote in for number 1, 2 for number 2, and 1 vote for number 3. So now it's time for us to find out who the real red-hot mama is. And so, will the real Linda Thurman please stand up? It is number 2, and that means that Ron and Orson were correct. Linda, we'll get back to you in just a moment. Let's find out about our imposters. Number 1, who are you?
My name is Annie Sullivan, and I teach speech at Moore Park College in California.
I see. Another famous Annie Sullivan was a great teacher, as you know. Number 3, tell us about yourself, please.
My name is Carrie Pacheco, and I'm a real live Ghostbuster.
A Ghostbuster. How about that? Fascinating work. There were those 2 incorrect votes at $500 apiece, and that means that the team of challengers will receive the guarantee of $1,000. And now, Linda Thurman, it was mentioned in the affidavit you lost a lot of weight, but it's hard for us to conceive of that, so let's show the folks at home a before photograph. There you are, weighing how much?
296 pounds.
296, and it took you about a year to lose all that weight?
Yes.
Well, let's bring your husband back on. He seemed very, very proud. Martin Thurman, come out here. Is there any kind of competition within the family now that everyone is involved?
For me, the main competition is if I get there first, I want on the truck first and watch out.
A great pleasure having you with us today
Thank you.
on To Tell the Truth. Good luck to you. We'll be back with a woman who's been called the Spanish-speaking Oprah Winfrey right after this. Glad you are too. It's time now to meet our next team of challengers.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Maria Laria.
Number 2.
My name is Maria Laria.
Number 3.
My name is Maria Laria.
In a few minutes, our panelists will locate the real Maria Laria. Here's her story. I, Maria Laria, am the host of Cara a Cara, which in Spanish means face to face. I'm known throughout the Spanish-speaking countries as the Latin Oprah Winfrey. My 1-hour TV show tackles a new topic each day. Often, the subjects are controversial, and I specialize in topics considered taboo for the Spanish-speaking audience. It's not unusual for my show to delve into incest, transvestism, homosexuality, impotence, and child abuse. I also cover late-breaking political issues and offer life-saving information on health problems. I believe the Hispanic community needs its own voice. As a result, I've been nominated for 4 Emmy Awards. Signed, Maria Laria. Ron, we're going to start the questioning with you on this one.
Muchas gracias. Número uno, ¿cómo está?
¿Cómo está?
What was the most controversial issue you tackled on your show?
Making love for people in handicapped people, I'd probably have to say.
Okay, I guess you got it all up in one lump there.
Yes.
Number 2, what time does your show air?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock in the afternoon. And number 3, is it here locally in Los Angeles?
Yes, it is.
And what station is that on number 2? What channel?
KDEA Channel 52.
Channel 52. Number 1, who was the most interesting guest you had on your show?
I think Jane Fonda.
Number 2.
Oh, no time for that. Let's go to Mother.
Well, thank you very much for asking everything I wanted to know from these 3 women. Well, number 1, what wouldn't you discuss? You said the handicapped orgy was the most difficult thing.
Yes,
I don't think she said orgy.
Okay, not an orgy, but you're talking 4 people. That sounds like an orgy to me. And if it's not, it's awfully busy. Sounds like something I should have been at. Okay. What would you not discuss?
I don't really think there is anything that we wouldn't really get into. There are certain topics in a show that I may not discuss.
Number 2, does your show have English subtitles?
It does, and sometimes we do simultaneous translation.
Number 3, oh shoot, well, I wanted to ask you something else. I love your hair. Where'd you get that outfit? Okay, there's the...
Orson.
Well, I think it's wonderful that the Spanish-speaking audience gets to know about incest, transvesticism, homosexuality, impotence. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't know. If I don't watch Oprah, I don't know about these things. You know, all right. Number 3. Now, do the Spanish-speaking people react the same as like when you turn on Phil and you hear about cross-dressing and all that stuff?
Oh, yes. I think instead of hearing the O's and I's, you hear ay, ay, ay. It's
Right.
a little more difficult because of religion.
Well, I believe it.
And the
Next
family
week when you have the
background.
horse lovers on number 2. Now, when you... no,
Let's hear a bell. Let's hear a bell. Thank you. Kitty. Kitty, whatever you do, don't pick up on that topic. Take us into new territory, please.
Number 3, how large an audience do you have?
Only about 35.
35? 35 people?
That's all. In the studio.
Oh, I know, but I mean, how many people do you reach out there?
Oh, we reach as far as Central America.
And number 2, what kind of mail do you get? Do they object to the subjects that you use?
Sometimes.
And what do they say?
Sometimes they're very upset that they're very risque subjects.
Number 3, why don't you do other things like normal love or children going to school or something nice?
We do a lot of nice things also.
Oh, I see. These are just the things you
Right.
talk about. Thank you.
These are the way out things. All right. Time's up. Time to vote for the real Spanish Oprah Winfrey. Is it going to be number 1? Is it going to be number 2? Or is it going to be number 3? Ron's all ready to go.
Yes, well, I eliminated number 2 because I don't think Channel 52 is a Spanish-speaking station. I may be wrong, but I don't think it is. I went with number 1 because I don't think you can make up a story about controversy about... I mean, that first one, she just, right off the top of her head, that's it.
Yes, it was. Mother? Get yourself together.
Okay, I'm together. Calm down. I voted for number 3 because I liked her hair and her outfit.
All right. Orson?
yes, well, I myself would not watch one of these things. I turned to the religious channel, actually, but I voted for number 3.
Uh-huh. All righty. Kitty?
Well, I didn't know about channel whatever it was, so I voted for number 2.
You wouldn't be familiar with that channel, not living here in the
No.
Los Angeles area. Let's review the voting. Votes came in for each of our challengers. Number 1 picked up 1 vote, as did number 2, but there were 2 votes for number 3. And so let's find out right now, ladies and gentlemen, who the Hispanic host is. Will the real Maria Laria please stand up? the only one who correctly identified Maria Laria. Maria, since we did not get to you with that question, what is the most controversial subject you've ever had to discuss on your program?
The KKK. We had Tom Metzger, who was an ex-KKK leader, and we had to do the whole show in English because they wouldn't accept our language.
All right, well, it was great having you with us on the program. Let's find out about our imposters. Number one, who are you and what do you do, please?
My name is Hope Schenk. I'm a sales director here in Los Angeles.
Well, nice to have you here. Number three, who are you?
My name is Andrea Garcia, and I'm a hairstylist from San Diego, California.
A hairstylist. Mother, there you go. All right, 3 incorrect votes at $500 apiece. That means the team will pick up $1,500. Thank you for being with us today on To Tell the Truth. We'll be back to play one-on-one right after this. Diamond, who's it going to be today, Burton?
Well, Alex, today we have Jim Heitcotter. Jim Heitcotter from Bakersfield, California.
Where is Jim? There he is.
Come on up here, Jim. I'll come down to you. Okay, right here.
Jim, welcome to Tell the Truth and our one-on-one segment. Here's a chance for you to make $500 in cash. We're going to begin by introducing a gentleman with 2 stories to tell. Folks, please welcome Dr. Willie Sadeh. Jim, Dr. Sadeh is going to tell us those 2 stories, only one of which happens to be the truth. You spot the true story and you'll win $500. Dr. Sadeh, your first story, please.
Thank you. Man, if you are having troubles making love, maybe I can help. I make love potions.
Gosh, I hope that's a true story because I'll be talking to you after the program. However, it may be a lie. So, we'll go to story number 2.
I have designed a new kind of house. It's for men, for people who want to live on the moon.
I see. I hope that story's true because if it is, in view of my first comment, my wife will have me living on the moon. Kitty, let's start the questioning with you.
What is the main ingredient of your love potions?
Since it's part of my work, it's invention, being a chemist, I can't disclose it. It's part of the patent.
Okay, Orson.
Now, these love potions, does a man swallow them or rub them on?
You don't need to rub it on. It's just a powder that you can dissolve it in a soft drink, a Courvoisier, or a glass of wine, or a schnapp, whatever you want.
Mother?
Will this potion work on women if a woman consumed it?
At this time, I'm just concentrating on the male sex. I disregard for the time being the female with regard to this.
Ron?
Doctor, a ground rhinoceros tusk has nothing to do with your potion, does it?
To the best of my knowledge, no.
All right, so much for story number 1. Now let's get to story number 2, that he designs moon houses. Kitty?
What's the most unusual feature of your house?
A house on the moon is made from fiber like a tent on Earth.
I see. Orson?
Now, ultimately, would you design a McDonald's on the moon so that the person living in the moon house would have someplace to go?
I'll question if I'll design a McDonald's because I like not to feed the people on the moon. It's too much cholesterol.
Oh, all right.
Mother?
Big question. How much is it going to cost, this house on the moon?
Depends how many you'll put over there. If you just speak on one single house, it'll be one price. If you put many houses together, it'll be a different number. So I can't tell you. You have to ask me how many houses.
Yeah, it's either $1 billion or 13,000. Ron?
Oh, doctor!
Thank
Is
you,
there a
sir.
lot of call for this?
For what?
For a house on the moon?
I don't get cold, but I feel that maybe this is the future of the human species to expand into space.
All right, so much for our cross-examination, Jim. You tell us, does Dr. Willie Sadeh make love potions or does he design moon homes?
Well, to me, it sounds like he makes love potions because he had good chemistry answers, and I'm a chemist, too.
All righty. Dr. Sadeh, what is your true story?
To tell the truth, I design houses for the moon.
Sorry, Jim. We've got a nice gift for you, but no cash. And for stumping Jim, you get $1,000, Dr. Sadeh. And when we return, ladies and gentlemen, we'll show you some examples of the special homes that Dr. Sadeh has designed for use on the moon. Right after this. In our lifetime, in terms of living there, this is the kind of thing you might be residing in. Dr. Sadeh, great temperature changes on the moon. That obviously influences your designs, right?
Yeah, to some extent. the difference on the moon between day moon and night moon is about 546 degrees Fahrenheit.
Now, is all of this stuff going to be very lightweight so it's easily transportable?
Extremely lightweight. If you see this fiber here is a membrane of a thickness of about 1/100 of an inch.
Well, I hope we're still alive when we get to the moon and see these erected there. Thank you for being with us today on To Tell the Truth. Tomorrow, Lynn Swan is here as a guest host, and on Wednesday also. I'll be back on Thursday. See you then. So long.